Oh, no, come on. Mom, it happened again. Welcome back to So You're Interested In, the show where I break down an artist's discography in order to give you, the viewer, the best possible jumping off point in order to get into their catalog. On this episode, we are going to be looking at one of the hottest metal acts out there right now, and that is, of course, Code Orange. Originally formed as Code Orange Kids while the band members were still in high school in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, they immediately started honing their craft as a hardcore band. Before they dropped the kids part of Code Orange Kids, they put out some seriously kick-ass music. But as they grew older, they moved into their professional careers as Code Orange, a band that majestically blends metalcore, hardcore, and even industrial into a heavy onslaught of aggressive music. So to help introduce you to this outfit, I have picked out 2 albums and 3 individual tracks that I think you need to be listening to if you want to dive deeper into Code Orange. Just like every other episode, we are going to start things off with the albums. The first album from Code Orange that you need to listen to is their 2017 release, Forever. A critically acclaimed album, Forever is considered to be one of the best metalcore records of the last decade. And while others may be dismissive of this claim, I think it's fair to say Forever has some character-defining moments in Code Orange's discography. For instance, on the title track, the band blends heavy guitar slams, hardcore breakdowns, and even sludge metal to craft a monstrous beast. It sets an electric mood for what's to come, such as the misanthropic Bleeding in the Blur. Certainly a change of pace in terms of stylistic choices. Bleeding in the Blur leans heavily into alt metal with a more pop-sensible soundscape and construction, especially when it comes to Reba Meyer's vocals. Meanwhile, The New Reality is another blistering and hateful track. It fluctuates with elements of metalcore, industrial, experimental, and even beatdown. Personally, it's not an all-time favorite track for me, but I do think that it expresses a lot of the theatrical ideas that are presented on this LP. Forever is a great introduction to a band who dips their toes into so many different styles of metal, as this record shows off their licks in almost every way imaginable. Be sure to give this one a spin. The next record to hear is their latest full-length LP, Underneath. Taking what they learned from Forever and bringing it to a whole new level, Underneath displays incredible feats of metalcore production. The track Swallowing the Rabbit Hole is a testament to this claim. The song is unbelievably quick, not in terms of the actual song's runtime itself, but in terms of how fast the vocals and instrumentals fly by. It's a noisy, heavy hellscape with gnarled vocals as far as the ear can hear. The track Who I Am follows more in the industrial influence than Swallowing the Rabbit Hole. It's crooning, both with the vocals and the whiny guitar, while also being instantly catchy and singable. The album closes out with the title track Underneath. The hook on this cut is easily one of my favorites in all of Code Orange's discography. Everything about this song screams 9 Inch Nails if they decided to make a thrash metal track while recording Pretty Hate Machine. Underneath is a great modern metalcore album that is accompanied by some of my favorite aggressive music production in recent years. Simply put, do not miss out on this LP. Now that we've conquered the albums, let's talk about the tracks. The first track that you need to hear is Thinners of the Herd from the 2014 record I Am King. Immediately, this song is heavy as shit with this pounding bass that feels like sucker punches to the back of your skull. It's an ever-changing track, constantly switching pace and melody, keeping you on your toes during all 2 minutes and 47 seconds of this runtime. Not to mention, the lyrics are pretty based as well, telling the listener to go out and be somebody who thins the herd of sheep that blindly follow orders. Thinners of the Herd is absolutely worth your time. Next up, I highly recommend listening to Around My Neck on My Head from the 2013 LP Love Is Love Return to Dust. Admittedly, this is a cut from their earlier days as Code Orange Kids, but I still think that it is a must hear for anybody who is trying to get into them. Explosive from the get-go, this is a hardcore song through and through. It doesn't even do anything outlandishly special. It's just a ripper of a track that will rock your shit from start till end. There are definitely more complex songs on Love Is Love Return to Dust, but personally I think Around My Neck on My Head will be enticing for any hardcore fans out there. Last but certainly not least, you need to listen to Code Orange's cover of Down in a Hole from their live album Under the Skin. This might not be an obvious pick for many people, but I think that this cover of the iconic Alice in Chains song will be perfect for new listeners due to the laid-back, almost near acoustic nature of the recording. The live concert as a whole is one of their best works, encompassing much of the material from Underneath in this near MTV's Unplugged presentation. I definitely suggest listening to this whole live album, but if you're only in the mood for one song, I highly recommend listening to their cover of Down in a Hole. And that will conclude this episode of So You're Interested In. I really hope that you got some good recommendations from this video, especially if you've never heard of Code Orange before. All of the recommendations are located in the description box below. And if you scroll down just a little bit more, you can go down to the comment section and let me know if my suggestions helped you out at all. Maybe you're already a huge Code Orange fan and were utterly disappointed by my picks. Well, you can go to those comments and let me know why you're so mad at me. It's okay, I get it, I can't be perfect. You can also suggest any artists that you would like to see featured on this show. I do have a backlog of a lot of videos already written, filmed, and ready to go, but that does not mean that I am not open to suggestions from viewers like you. Be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this every single week, along with videos like Stacks of Wax, a show where I go through my record collection and show off what I can spin on vinyl. So that about wraps everything up, besides my weekly reminder to go out and support your local record store along with the local artists in your area. And until I see you next time, happy listening.